What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Thursday, September 21st. Yes, Poe's birthday, 2017. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the busiest lady in the business, Andrea Renee.
Hi, Greg. I like this pink shirt. It's one of my favorites.
I'm a big fan of the pink shirt, too. I'm also a big fan of the weather today.
It's perfect today.
It is fall here. It feels like a fall you'd get in the Midwest. It's crisp. The air is there. I'm cold for the first time in forever, which I love. I'm usually
nice.
melting in this gosh darn place, dying. It's a good day, Andrea.
It is.
It's especially good because What's Good Games has been nominated for a golden joystick over at GamesRadar.com.
OMG, I can't believe it.
That's right. Give a round of applause,
Thank
Kevin.
you.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you so much.
Everybody head over to Games Radar. You can vote right there. Do it. Congratulations. That's huge. Good job.
Yeah, you know, I woke up this morning and I saw it and I thought somebody was trolling me. I was like,
Sure.
How on earth are we on the same list as Polygon, Waypoint, Jacksepticeye,
yeah.
Markiplier? You know, it's just like, I mean, we have no shot at winning against those guys.
Don't say that. Don't say that. You got a shot.
If the best friends out there would care to give us a vote, we would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah.
So it's exciting.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Go get them, everybody. Games Radar. If you didn't know, this is Kinda Funny Games Daily each and every weekday on a variety of platforms. We run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about, giving you perspective, opinion, jumping into your questions, having a good time, hooking you up with other Kinda Funny best friends. If you like that, you can watch live as we record it on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. But we don't look at the chat. Instead, if we get anything wrong, you have to go to kindafunny.com/you're-wrong while we're live. Tell us what it is so that at the end of the show, we can read your responses. Set the record straight for everyone watching later on youtube.com/kindafunnygames and listening on podcast services around the globe. No matter where or how you consume the show, thank you for doing it. Please consider going over the other ones. Rate, subscribe, share, like, show it to your friends, comment, make a billboard. Get a. You know what I always like? I like when you take a sheet and you spray paint an ad on it and hang it from your house windows. Do that. Kindafunny.com. For now, let's begin the show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Ooh, subdued, Kevin. Time for some news. What? Why are you shaking your head? What's wrong?
I just got really tired.
You're just really tired? We had too much fun last night? Not enough protein. That was the problem. You know what I mean? You marrying a vegetarian. 5 items on the Roper Report.
No Baker's dozen.
Oh my God. The mic can't even pick up that Baker's dozen. So, cool, Greg. Go get a sausage and shove it in Kevin's mouth. All right? He needs a protein uptick like nobody's business. Yeah, get him a Hot Pocket. That's fine. Kevin, you're off the diet today. Number 1. Faction Rally is coming to Destiny 2, which we knew, but it's already starting to seep in, according to GameSpot. Destiny 2 continues to add more and more content weeks after launch. According to the official Bungie schedule, something called Faction Rally begins Tuesday, September 26th. But even though it hasn't arrived yet, Guardians can get their hands on faction-branded weapons right now. Factions in Destiny 1 are in-game groups with which you can form alliances, increase your reputation through certain activities, and redeem faction-specific rewards. Though it's not clear what exactly Destiny 2's Faction Rally will consist of, the 3 Crucible factions, Dead Orbit, New Monarchy, and Future War Cult, have already made minor appearances on some weapons in the game. If you look closely, you'll see each faction's logo on the above weapons. Of course, there's a thing there on GameSpot.com. Go check it out. The numbers Future War Cult symbol is the most obvious at first glance, while the Sentencer 4's New Monarchy logo and Dire Promises Dead Orbit logo are on the butts of those weapons. These logos can also be found on the Faction Rally portion of the schedule, which means it's safe to assume they'll be returning from Destiny 1 in some form. Around the GameSpot office, we found each of these weapons in caged stashes. It's not clear if they can be acquired elsewhere or what other weapons there may be. Andrea Renee?
Yes, Greg.
As someone who loves Destiny 2 but bailed kind of early on Destiny 1, what the fuck does any of this mean?
So in Destiny, there were these 3 factions, and you could pledge your allegiance to a faction 1 time per week. And so all of the activities that you would do inside Destiny, from Crucible matches to public events, would grind reputation with the faction leader, and then you would then turn in that reputation like you turn in tokens in Destiny 2 to exchange it for gear and weapons.
Okay. Are you excited about this?
I'm glad they're coming back. I was a really big fan of Future War Cult. That was my faction of choice. I did, once I kind of maxed out all the gear that I got from them, I went over to New Monarchy. Dead Orbit was a little weird for me.
Sure.
Didn't really like his stuff.
They're like goth kids.
Kind of.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people who were fans of Destiny were wondering, when these people were going to come back. Where are they? What are they doing? Some of the NPCs in the tower right now will talk about them very vaguely.
Okay.
If you just kind of leave your character in one spot, you can hear people saying things about it. But I'm excited that these people are back. I hope that they do something a little bit more involved with them this time around, because it felt very peripheral in the previous game.
And that's the thing. So they're calling this Faction Rally, which we knew was coming. Do you read into that as it's going to be like a competition? It doesn't sound like it was a competition last time, right? Like I picked something, I got the gear, and I was just done.
Yeah, it was a very personal choice. It's not like, I don't recall.
Do you think then this one is going to be more of like a voting system of like, oh, the people who are in dead orbit have done this amount of whatever? Like there's charts, there's a balance to it.
That would be interesting, especially with the way that clans are working now and how you can grind within your clan to earn specific things and you have a ranking. Perhaps they'll do it that way.
Okay.
I would hate to see one of these factions disappear because it was less popular than the others, though.
Yeah. No, I'm sure people like you, they'll jump around.
Yeah.
Get in there. You want all the gear. Not just
all
some of the
the
gear.
stuff.
Give it all the gear. Well, pay attention. We'll see what that nets out to next week when it pops on Tuesday, September 26th. In sad news, possibly, ladies and gentlemen, the second item on the Roper Report. Flappy Bird is finally kind of dead. This is via Polygon. The creator of one of the iPhone's most popular games has confirmed he isn't going to update the software for Apple's newest operating system update. iOS 11 doesn't support 32-bit apps, instead switching over to 64-bit. Win, this is Dong Win, who created Flappy Bird, could have updated the software, but he said on Facebook he was ready to say goodbye to the game. Then I have a tweet here. This is from him. The original Flappy Bird app is no longer playable on newer iOS from today with the release of iOS 11. Thank you very much for your playing and supports in the last 4 years. Flappy Bird, of course, debuted on the App Store on May 24th, 2013. By February 24th, the free iOS game had been downloaded more than 50 million times, and it was rumored that Win was making more than $50,000 a day. On February 8th, Win took to Twitter to announce that he was taking Flappy Bird off the App Store, claiming he couldn't take the controversy surrounding the success of his game. How do you feel? You're a big mobile game fan. This was the pinnacle of mobile gaming.
I remember distinctly the stories that I did about Flappy Bird back when I was at The Escapist doing Escapist News. This was a huge phenomenon. I thought it was absolutely crazy that he took it down.
Yeah.
It's like, this is lightning in a bottle. Like, you need to get the money while the money is there.
Yeah.
Like, low-hanging fruit, whatever kind of euphemism you want to use, and he didn't. He was a developer who did not want to be in the spotlight, who did not want to talk to people, and
you didn't want the death threats, right? That was the thing where people were so mad about how bad this game was, but it was doing so well and everyone was playing.
I kind of wanted to just tell him, like, dude, just turn your social media off.
Yeah, and that's
just
the thing.
collect the paychecks from Apple.
There's the part of it where it's like, oh, it's kind of like noble of like, oh man, like the internet's being horrible. Fuck this. I'm just gonna take it away from you if you can't play nice. Where I'm like, yeah. But then there's also the side of like, the internet's terrible to everyone all the time. Like, fuck those people. Make your money. Be happy.
Absolutely. I don't know if this is really news because this game has not really been operational for a while.
But it is that thing where it's like I had it on my phone forever. It's a lot like PT, where I won't ever delete it from the PS4. On my phone, Flappy Bird is still there in my games folder.
I think PT and Flappy Bird are oranges and apples, but
both are fruit. That's what I'm saying.
It's true. They are. This is cool story, bro.
Did you ever play it? Did you get into it?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get into it, but of course I played it.
Yeah, like I remember Brian Albert being like insanely good at it. Like he played so much at IGN.
It was really addictive, and so I kind of cut myself off early. I was like, this is not going to be a thing.
I believe it was called the Dark Souls of mobile games.
No, come on.
It was. You died, but you wanted to come right back. It was punishing, Andrea. You didn't live it. You don't remember it.
Dark Souls didn't create that genre. All right.
It made it popular though, didn't it? It did, didn't it? It did. So rest in peace, Flappy Bird. If you still have it, you have an antique. Don't update your iOS. This is the thing to keep you away from it. Have you updated your iOS?
I don't think so, unless it did it automatically. I haven't checked.
Yeah, I haven't either. And like all the screenshots I see of the new, like it's insane. Like this one menu screen of like all the volume controls and all this jazz.
Oh
it's
yeah, the dashboard stuff.
Yeah, and now that they're gonna take Flappy Bird away from me, I can't do it. Never forget, Andrea. Greatest game of the year, game of the generation. Number 3, Nier selling well via IGN. Worldwide shipments and digital sales for Nier Automata have now exceeded the 2 million mark. This is the latest milestone for Platinum Games' critically acclaimed action RPG. In May, Square Enix announced shipments and digital sales of Nier Automata eclipsed 1.5 million units worldwide. The game is currently available on Steam at a 35% discount until September 25th and at a 36% discount on the PSN store until September 27th. Good for them.
Yeah, it's on my list.
It's still right there on my
In
bar
Andrea
of games
Renee's
I need to play.
game tray of games.
Yeah, the list of shame. Yeah, your backlog. Mine too. I need to get to it before Game of the Year, but just a nice little win there in terms of a game that people were super excited about and actually did well when it came out and delivered on what they wanted. You don't see that enough, I say.
Agreed.
Good.
Yeah.
Andrea, you added this number 4 story, One Gamer Fun announced. What's it all about?
I did. So this is really exciting. I first heard about this from my friend Russ Pitts, who is the president of TakeThis.org. So this is inspired by the United Way of America. The One Gamer Fund unites gamers with charities. The Able Gamers Foundation. I am on the advisory board for them. Love those guys. Child's Play. Games for Change, Global Game Jam, the IGDA Foundation, Stack Up, also love those guys as well. Take This, of course, supports What's Good Games. So all 7 of these charities are going to be raising funds to support their respective causes, with all of the proceeds from the One Gamer Fund evenly distributed amongst the 7 different charities. Now, for gamers who want to support the fund, they can purchase a game or bundle from Good Shepherd Entertainment on Steam this weekend.
Formerly Gambitious.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
50% of the proceeds will go to benefit the One Gamer Fund. You can tune into Twitch, where streamers will be raising money for the One Gamer Fund, and they will be featured on the front page all weekend long. That is excellent. If you want to stream on Twitch, you can use Tiltify to collect donations and get your stream promoted on the One Gamer Fund social media channels. You can dress to the nines in a One Gamer Fund t-shirt available for purchase at the Yeti, or you can give directly to the onegamerfund.org or send donations via PayPal to onegamerfund@igdafoundation.org. So this is really exciting. I love so many of these organizations, all doing really great stuff, and it's an awesome opportunity to be able to promote all of them together.
Yeah.
It's always so tough because there's so many people doing amazing work with gaming charities specifically that it's hard to like pick favorites because they're doing such different things.
There's been you added this right before we came on, so I didn't actually get to read through it. There's been a kid who's been writing into kindoffunny.com/KFGD, just like you can, multiple times over the past few weeks about, hey, and it's a good question. I just didn't have an answer until now, I guess, of like, hey, I'm excited for Extra Life. I've signed up for the Kind of Funny team, kindoffunny.com/Extra Life. And I want to do that, but like, what are other charities I could do to help? And there are so many, but they're also spread to the 4 corners, right? Of getting everybody together, having a succinct message to tell people where to go. This is a great fix.
Absolutely. So I highly recommend, if you are a streamer or if you want to get involved in any way, just go to onegamerfund.org and you can get all of the information there.
Go do it. Number 5 on the Roper Report, and this is a very short one, as the Roper Report has been today. It was a day of like, man, not a lot happening. All right. Number 5, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle is now the best-selling third-party game on the Nintendo Switch, according to Eurogamer. And then they say that's according to physical sales tracked from North America and Australian numbers company NPD, as well as the UK company Chart Track GFK, whatever the hell that is.
I always forget that that's a Ubisoft game.
Yeah, right.
Because they collaborated so closely with Nintendo on that game.
And it pays off, right? I think this continues to be the success story of the Switch, is that games sell on the Switch. It is that exact same thing we saw with Vita, where weren't that many Vitas in the wild compared to some other, platforms, but the attach rate, gamers wanted games on it. And I think the fact that even today, hold on. This is a good point to jump in. Hold on. I was going to make a comment, but then there's a question about it. Even today, there's been all these previews popping for a little game called Doom on the Nintendo Switch.
Oh, yes.
And everybody's basically saying, this has been the story of the Switch since I got it. I love my Switch. I want every game on it. Now we're getting it. People are saying Doom's all right on the Switch. But I don't take it from people. I want to hear from Andrea Renee, just like Trevor Starkey did when he wrote into kindoffunny.com/KFGD and says, hey, Greg and Andrea, with the embargo for Doom on the Switch lifting today, I'm eager to hear about Andrea's impressions. It was one of my favorite games last year and it reinvigorated my interest in first-person shooters. How does it stack up on the Switch? Thanks, and have a great show, Trevor. P.S. Congrats to What's Good Games on the Golden Joystick nomination.
Thank you.
You played Doom on the Switch, Andrea.
I did.
Tell me all about it.
So First thing, I only played it in handheld mode. I
Nice.
played it two different ways. I played it with the kickstand with the Pro Controller.
Okay.
And then I played it with the Joy-Cons attached to the Switch. I did not get to play it in docked mode to see it in
On TV.
What it looks like on a television. So that's important to note. In the mode where I was using the Pro Controller and it was kickstand,
Yeah.
felt great.
Yeah.
Super fast, looks nice, good. With the Joy-Cons attached to the Switch, a little difficult to play.
That's what people are saying.
The way that the triggers are designed on the Switch with how small the sticks are on the Joy-Cons with a game like Doom where you're moving so quickly and you're constantly shooting and moving, it was challenging. And
Is it, if I may,
Yes.
Is it a challenge you think you could adjust to over time? It just doesn't feel like a DualShock. It doesn't feel like an Xbox button. Would it be a setup you could get used to for playing this first-person shooter?
in my playtime, it felt like I was constantly pushing extra buttons because your fingers are moving so fast.
Okay.
And I think it takes away a little bit from what Doom excelled in was that super smooth, fast-paced
Of course.
combat. And I don't think I would want to play it in that mode, even though so many people are really excited to play this on the go on
Yeah.
their Switch. And I don't know if this game was meant for Switch
Well, interesting.
for a variety of reasons. I also didn't prefer trying to keep track of what was happening on screen on that small Switch screen. Doom is such a beautiful, polished, awesome game on a giant television or on a really like high def PC monitor that I think it kind of dumbs it down a little bit to play it on Switch. Is that a bad thing? Not necessarily if you've experienced it in
You've
its
already
true
played it.
glory.
Yeah.
If this is like your second or third playthrough and you just want to play it again, I think that that's perfectly fine.
Gotcha.
If this is your first time experiencing Doom, you're not getting the true good Doom experience.
Did it feel? You're saying that it was like a little bit dumbed down. Did it come off like there was fewer enemies or something of that effect? Or
The game? Well, I mean, we only got to play the first.
I know, and
the
I know
first
it's hard.
like 30 minutes of the game or
Sure.
whatever. So I couldn't speak to that. I don't
Yeah.
think that they've reduced it. I know that they have siphoned off multiplayer.
Okay.
But it just didn't feel as bombastic as that game is on a small screen.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Yeah, I remember just being blown away by Doom when I had
sure.
my headphones on. I was watching it on my 65-inch TV and just being like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing!"
I'm in the world. Yeah, no, and it moves so fast and it's so buttery smooth. and
Yeah.
it looks beautiful. Does it look beautiful on the smaller screen?
It looks good.
Yeah.
It doesn't look as good.
Okay.
But it looks good.
Okay.
Ran smooth. So props to Bethesda for, executing the port. I just think that this game should be experienced in a different way.
Okay. Interesting take. I like it.
Yeah.
Hot
so
takes.
it's not bad,
You
but
hate it.
it's
Andrea
not the
hates
best
it.
way. It's not the best way to play.
Okay. Good to know. Andrea,
Yes.
Doom's still a ways out. If I wanted to know what came to the digital mama shop drop stop tops today, where would I go?
Greg, you would go to the official list of upcoming software across each and every platform as listed by the Kind of Funny Games Daily Show hosts each and every weekday.
Are you doing time codes?
No.
Fuck yeah. We're still trying to get in the rhythm of doing
Damn
that.
it, I forgot about it.
We'll fudge them up there a bit. It's fine.
I got
We
it.
tried. You want to? Wait, no. People are watching. No, it doesn't help. I was
I'll
gonna say,
fix
people
it.
are watching on Twitch. They could put them in just the first half, or whatever. For Roper Report, you could put them into.
Don't worry, guys. I'll get in the comments. I'll fix them.
No, don't worry about that.
Don't sweat it.
It's fine. It's fine. It's out today. The Witness is coming to iPhones and iPads. Xbox One's backwards compatibility library has added Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary, Halo 3, Halo 3 ODST, and Halo 4. Then, Heat Signatures on PC, Ink is on Xbox One, SteamWorld Dig 2 is on Switch, Pokemon Gold and Silver has come to the 3DS Virtual Console, Thimbleweed Park is coming to the Nintendo Switch. I'm very excited to play it on my plane ride Saturday.
Yeah.
Sold them. Drop Connect Erase is on the eShop for the Nintendo Switch. Frutaki 2 is on the 3DS. Guide the Ghost is on the eShop for 3DS. 36 Fragments of the Midnight is on the eShop for 3DS. Chu Man Fu is on the Virtual Console for Wii U. Shockman is on the Virtual Console for Wii U. Friday the 13th has its patch rolling out, or one of its patches rolling out. We talked about that content roadmap this week. The new outfit customization is launching. New user interface for clothing is launching. There's new emotes. The communication wheel that includes 8 free communication emotes. And then the 1984 Spring Break outfit pack is live on the store, contingent on DLC release and purchase. And then there's a bunch of fixing this. They're trying. We did the Let's Play yesterday. They're eliminating that thing where like the knife noise is just happening over and over again wherever you are out in the world.
That's good.
They're working on it. Lawbreakers launched a new patch today on PC and PS4 featuring some quote-unquote exciting content and updates. Major additions are that there's a new map, a new mode, that's Skirmish, which is first limited time mode is Team Deathmatch, and then major balancing and updates like health regen, HP increase for all classes, and more. Meanwhile, for new dates, the award-winning international games label Team 17 and Finnish-based independent developer Rankout Studios. Yeah, I'm gonna say that. Today, games, Rankout Games. Today announced Mugsters, a supercharged action-packed puzzler that'll be coming to 2018 on PC and consoles. Exciting?
So exciting.
Thank you very much for that. And now you've got the draft, you've got your things going over there. You got the time codes going.
Yeah.
All right, here's what I want you to do.
Okay.
Fill time for like 10 seconds because I didn't add in the ad, so I got to get the ad drawn up here.
Yeah, no problem at all. So I wanted to talk briefly about games that I want to step away from Destiny 2 to play.
What?
Oh.
What? What?
I know.
How long are you going to step away for?
You know, it's tough because now John is pulling away from me. I'm still higher power level than him with my main, but he's now almost completely leveled up his ult, his Titan.
Oh.
So now I'm going to have to probably run story stuff by myself, but there's so many games that I haven't gotten a chance to play yet.
Sure.
I have to finish Zelda, Greg. I haven't finished it yet.
Yeah, I understand. That's upsetting.
Yeah.
I feel you. But I feel like Destiny got here at a good time. We're sure. I'm ignoring Persona, which is my albatross to bear. Last day of June came out, and I've been so stoked to play that since Judges Week, and now it just sits there. And granted, it's like a 4 or 5 hour experience. I can make time for it.
You can knock it out this weekend.
I know. Well, I'm going to this Let's Play thing, and I'll be playing stuff down there. I hear you, but you can't. It's still so fresh. We're still so involved. There's still so much stuff to do. I still got to finish the raid.
We can do that, no problem.
Okay.
We'll get to it. I did want to say...
Are you going to try to hit max power level? Is that going to be your cutoff?
Oh, I probably not until later on.
Okay.
Just because that grind is like... You have to do the raid multiple times over multiple weeks in order to get to max power, and I have time for that. I won't be worried about getting to max power until probably the first expansion comes out. So no rush for me for that. But I did want to give a shameless plug. I am... for one of the first times in a long time, going to be putting up an article on whatsgoodgames.com, which will go live tomorrow. During the Xbox One X showcase that I went to, where I played a bunch of different games, which we talk about on the What's Good Games podcast, which goes live tomorrow morning, I get in the weeds with the senior director of hardware marketing about the Xbox One X.
Nice.
What it is exactly from a hardware standpoint, why it's different than the Xbox One S, and what Microsoft is trying to deliver to people who are like, what is the difference between the 3 consoles now? Which one should I get? Why should I pay for this? So I said on this show that I was going to ask them about that. I did. Nice. I got to see a PowerPoint presentation about it.
PowerPoint, a deck.
I'm going to be transcribing that interview and posting it on our website. So if you guys are out there and you're interested in like the details, you can check it out there tomorrow.
Do you think there's items I should pull for tomorrow's Roper's Report?
I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, good. That's what I like to hear. Thanks for filling time, too, because now it's time to jump into Reader Mail, which was brought to you by DraftKings. Football season has begun, and it's not too late to get closer to the game you love with DraftKings 1 Week Fantasy Football. This Sunday, DraftKings is hosting a $100,000 Pick'em contest that is totally free to enter. Pick'em is the newest way to play 1 week fantasy football. Drafting your team is faster than ever. DraftKings has organized players into 8 tiers. All you need to do is select one player from each tier. Choose between public contests with big cash prizes or private contests where you can compete against a group of your friends. DraftKings also has beginner and casual contests where you'll play against people of similar skill levels. The best part is, when you get in there and you draft a new team, you can do it each and every week without any commitment. Get to DraftKings.com now and use the promo code KINDAFUNNY to play DraftKings free contest with $100,000 in total prizes this Sunday. That's promo code KINDAFUNNY to compete for your share of $100,000 in total prizes. The contest is totally free, so why wouldn't you try? A shoe? DraftKings, the game inside the game. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details. Where do Do I want to? But like, are you just gonna stop cold tonight? You think, or are you just not wanting? You're gonna slowly wean off. What's John gonna do? What stuff do you still need to do with John? Are you talking about your alts you need to bring up?
Yeah.
I still got to. I mean, I'm platinum in this game. I still got to get my warlock off the ground.
Yeah.
There's stuff to do.
Yeah. There's a lot to do. I'm not saying I'm gonna abandon it completely.
Don't just leave us, Andrea.
I'm not gonna leave you.
Okay.
Never.
Okay, thank you. I don't want that. Danny O'Dwyer burned me. Let's start with a segment inside a segment of Reader Mail called Games We Don't Play. Nathan Gregg writes in and says, there seems to be no excitement for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. So little, even Kind of Funny doesn't want to talk about it. Parentheses, I submitted this question on Tuesday and it wasn't picked. Is it because many other fighting games are more impressive? Injustice 2 specifically has a better story, better graphics, and more single-player content. Injustice in particular has been high on the NPD charts for the last couple of months, so good fighting games can sell well. What do you think? Or is Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite so bad that this question shouldn't even be read? Thanks, Nathan Gregg, parentheses, baked beans. If your name's Baked Beans, just write in with that.
No, it says Baked Beanus.
Damn it. That's not nearly as good. That's an annoying one. That's a bad PSN name.
So Nathan, you're right that this kind of just snuck up on us. I actually didn't get my copy. So Capcom sent me a copy of this game, but I didn't get it until Monday of this week. And I was like, oh crap. That lined up way too perfectly.
Oh crap, and the entire screen went white.
I was like, I totally forgot that this game was coming out.
Yeah.
So I'm hopefully gonna pop it in this weekend.
Are you a fighting game person?
So I dabble.
Yeah.
I'm not good at fighting games. I've covered them in the past. I've hosted a series for Capcom in the past for Street Fighter, and I enjoy the kind of watching the FGC from the the sidelines.
Yeah.
But I'm not good at fighting games because you have to practice a lot to be really good at fighting games, and I just don't have the time to sink into that, nor do I have the passion to sink into that. But
that's the big thing. I mean, in terms of why Kind of Funny hasn't talked about it, it's just Kind of Funny we don't have a fighting game person. And like Injustice is a great example, I think, where I fucking love the Injustice comics. It's a DC video game. I have it. I've had it since launch, and it just sits on my thing because I need to play the story at some part, but I'm just never like, you know what I want to do? Get my face kicked in a few matches and go through and do this thing.
You'll really enjoy the story in Injustice 2.
I know I will. I enjoyed the story in Injustice 1. It's not me saying like, oh man, it's gonna be such a bitch, but it's like there's so many other things I'd rather play because they're my kind of games.
Totally.
And that's the thing where I don't feel confident speaking to what's happening with Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite because I'm not in that fighting game community. I think the fact that there seems to be no buzz about it. From the initial trailer where they were like, man, Chun-Li looks weird. Like it seems like it's been mixed messaging. People haven't been stoked about this game, but I'm not following any of those sites that would be really in the weeds with it close enough to tell you.
Well, I had the opportunity to play this game at San Diego Comic-Con when I was down there working with Marvel, and I really had fun. And as somebody who's a hardcore casual fighting game person, I found it really easy to pick up. Clearly, they have allowed for players of multiple skill levels to be able to access this game. They have, the easy combos that for people like me who just want to kind of button mash, but then they have, all the frame rate data you can get your hands on if you are really super into fighting games and want to know the specifics of how the mechanics work. So I think it just kind of got swept under the rug, unfortunately, and I don't know what they could have done differently. As
an outsider to it, but somebody who's involved in the video game industry and has been, doing this professionally now for a decade, I remember when new Marvel vs. Capcom stuff was super exciting and there was a lot of things behind it. I feel like they've just flooded the market. It feels like, and this is again, maybe I'm totally wrong, kindoffunny.com/KFGD. If you're a big fighting game fan, I want to know what you think of Marvel vs. Capcom for tomorrow's show on Friday. But it just seems like they re-release these things, they put this thing out, there's that one, and it just feels like they just don't have that pomp and circumstance anymore. That there's just, and maybe it is, there's just so many other fighters that are doing it so well as well.
It's hard to say. I haven't spent enough time with the game to give a definitive opinion on if it's good or if it's bad, but from what I've heard from people, it's not bad. It's not a bad game. I just think it didn't have enough production value to stand up to what, NetherRealm did with Injustice 2.
Sure.
So.
Let us know. Kindoffunny.com/KFGD tomorrow. I want to know your thoughts. Meanwhile, Jacob Thompson writes in with another game we're not covering, but he wants people to know about. Why is nobody talking about Divinity Original Sin 2? I know you Kind of Funny peeps aren't PC nerds like me, but this game is just released out of early access last Thursday and already has 75,000 concurrent players on Steam. If you haven't heard of it, it's a tactical fantasy turn-based RPG that is absolutely amazing. I've beaten up I've been up every night this week playing with my friends, and it's all I can think about. It's probably not your kind of game, but it deserves some recognition. Thanks for everything you do. There's its recognition.
Yeah, so I've heard nothing but great things about this game. Brittany over on our site on What's Good is coming back next week, and she is dying to talk about this game.
Oh, really?
She has said nothing but excellent things about it. It's what she's been looking forward to all year, so much so that she has said that she's probably not going to get to Middle-earth Shadow of War until the Xbox One X release.
All right.
Because she's going to be too busy playing Divinity. So if you guys want to hear impressions about that next week on our show, but I have not picked this game up.
I'm glad it's finding an audience. I think it's one of those where when it was coming up and I got the press release of like, hey, it's coming out, I was like, isn't this game been out? Like, and that's one of those early access things where for somebody who doesn't have a skin in the game for it, I heard about it forever ago and didn't pay attention, and here it is, and blah, blah. I remember when they did Divinity Original Sin 1 and got that on consoles. And I remember always thinking about playing it and never actually getting to it because it looked a little bit like Diablo. And I was like, oh, I love Diablo, but
yeah, never
came around. But thank you, Jacob, for talking about a game that we don't know about. All right, let's get into something we do know. Microtransactions. Late Night HVAC writes in and says, microtransactions, then put Seinfeld's voice. What's the big deal? I noticed many YouTubers and gamers seem to have gripes about microtransactions in games. I am not seeing what the big deal is with them. You guys were talking about microtransactions in Destiny 2. Jim Sterling had a video about microtransactions in NBA 2K18. Now NBA 2K18 has mostly negative reviews on Steam, apparently because of microtransactions. The argument being, they are a big business and they don't need to make more money than $60. I disagree. They are a business and they are in the business of making money. It takes hundreds of people to make a game, and to keep them making games, they need to stay profitable. I do not partake in the microtransactions that are presented to me. I buy my game, I play my game, I see the microtransactions, and I move on knowing I have no need to spend more money. I feel gamers are just too close-minded to what it takes to run a business, and really some things are better left unsaid. Greg Miller asks for microtransactions every day to keep his business going, and some partake in it as a means of supporting the crew, and some don't, but it's no requirement. I wish the gaming community would move on from this topic and enjoy the product, which many people spent years of their life creating. I know this was a question turned rant, but I'm curious on your thoughts. Am I missing something? I can handle a Greg Miller roast if needed. Thanks, guys. Daily content consumer, Late Night HVAC. You don't need to get roasted on this. This is an opinion that I think a lot of people share and have. And I think when you see Jim put up a video where he's railing on a microtransaction, or you see, I know that like what you're talking about with NBA 2K18 has been going around. I think it was Kotaku yesterday that had an article up that was like, hey, microtransactions are ruining this game or whatever. And it was the fact that you can go through and do all of this in the game on your own without spending money, but this is the faster way to do it. So many people are doing it, blah, blah. I'm not well versed enough on exactly what's happening with 2K18 on it. The problem and the reason people they get scared about microtransactions is it's always the slippery slope of, yep, companies do need to make money, and they do. If you can get more than $60 out of somebody, especially out of an audience that loves your game and wants to buy stuff, whether it be cosmetic, whether it be something else, go for it, try. But the concern is always going to be, and this is what you've seen with Destiny 2, right? Is the concern is if people go in all in on this, Activision or Company X, you get that canary in the coal mine. You get worst case scenario in your head of them. All right, here we go. We've got them. What can we put behind a paywall that is content they would have gotten for free before? Or what can we put behind a paywall that will give them a competitive advantage in online games and stuff like that? I think for the most part nowadays, it is the concern of, that's a shitty microtransaction. Shaders shouldn't be like that. I don't want to do that. That sucks, blah, blah, blah. But people rally so hard against them also just for the fear of what might come one day.
It's a very nuanced conversation for sure. And I appreciate this stance because this is a stance that I often take and people often come at me for it. And just recently with my Destiny 2 rants, have people been like, oh, now she gets it. But here's the thing. It's case by case. Every game is different. The way that microtransactions are implemented in each game is different. And it's all about how the developer or publisher is messaging, the way that they're handling microtransactions, how they've done it in previous games, if they have had their microtransactions in a game in a specific franchise before, and then how they're changing it, how they're messaging that change to their community. It's so many different shades of gray that it's a tough conversation to have and blanket statement anything.
And I hate it. I hate
Yeah.
when people are like microtransactions suck, and it's like,
Not
I know
all
there's
of
been
them
bad
suck.
ones, but
Yeah.
there's been good ones, and it's the same thing. I feel like with the NBA 2K thing of like, I don't know how many people that are mad on the internet talking about it actually care about it. And then it comes back to my season pass argument all the time of Arkham Knight season pass got announced, and I was like, here's my money. And a whole bunch of people who were never ever interested in Batman that way were like, fuck this is a terrible season pass. But I'm like, but were you a fan? Did you want to buy it? I don't know.
Yeah, and I say on the show all the time that it's all about player choice, giving people the options to, if they want to buy this extra thing, to buy it. And then if you don't want to buy it, you don't have to buy it. Like late night HVAC says, like, I don't spend this money and it never bothers me and I go about my life and everything's fine.
Yeah.
I think with the reason why people like us or Jim in particular is all of his content is very pro consumer focused. So like that's his shtick, is
Sure.
that's what he does. But when we talk about it on this show, it's about us recognizing or discussing concerns the community has. People, you guys send us your questions. You want to know our thoughts about it, and you know it changes depending on what the situation is. It's tough.
Yeah, it is, and I think nuance is such a great part of it. It's such a great way to describe it, right? Is that is what this is, and it's what 140 characters can't sum up. It's what oftentimes a few articles can't. As you go back and forth, I think of the Shadow of War Memorial DLC, right? And how it's it's $3.50 are going, but this isn't happening. But WB says they're gonna. And it's like, well, what's going on really with this? It's a great idea, but what is actually happening? And will somebody explain exactly where all the money's going? And like, that is different than shaders, and shaders are different than X, and whatever the hell is happening in NBA is different than. It's just, you go around and around with this, but it's also the fact of like, we live in an age where you can buy the game, and what I can speak to, right, is like you can buy WWE 2K17 and at least 16, if I remember correctly, and you can go through and unlock all that stuff, all the arenas, all the characters, or you can go in and buy the whatever they call it, the unlock key that unlocks everything from the start. Right. And both are there, and both are options, and both serve an audience. And there's the hardcore WWE fan and the player that I used to be, right? Of like, oh man, no, I want to unlock everything. I want to feel accomplished. I want to chase getting to the WrestleMania 2000 ring apron, right? But then there's the other person who's like, nah, I just want to go and fucking play wrestling games. Boom, there it's done. And that's the trade-off of like, that's all right, microtransaction, right? But it's like when, let's say they're hiding a great weapon in Destiny behind it, which they're not. But if they were, they're hiding something great.
Or if they're locking digital content to an amiibo, which is a conversation we've had on this show, right? So it's different for every case, and I think we're in an era now where microtransactions are not going away. So we, as a community, need to wrestle with the idea that, okay, they're here to stay.
Yeah.
That's clear. People are okay with spending money on them. I'm okay with spending money on them. I've done it in many games. But I really want to see publishers do it the right way and really do right by the people who are spending money on games, particularly for games that are not free to play. Free to play games are kind of in their own siphon where it's kind of like they can charge almost whatever they want because you don't have to pay for the game.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about like $60 AAA games that are going to be making a lot of money just from the sale of the game itself, then we need to take a, maybe more of a fine-tooth comb through like, what are these transactions? What are they for? Do they benefit the player? Are they hurting the players in any way?
What is the base $60 experience?
Yeah.
And that's the real question: is are you playing a game, or are you being locked out of everything, or these things, or that? You're not getting the full experience because of that, or is it? Yeah, it's the cherry on top of this thing.
But the reason people are mad is because we're kind of in a place in the world today where people are charging more and giving less across the board, not just in video games.
Sure.
And so that's why people get heated and people get angry about it. I just want to see publishers be responsible with it. I'm happy to pay $10 for a really cool, awesome special skin, as long as like it's transparent about what I'm getting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just because then it comes down to all the time of like what your money is worth.
Right.
What a value to me is not a value to you necessarily, and how that goes. And what I do like about it, I'm glad you're speaking up, HVAC, but I also do appreciate the people who do speak up on the other side of it and are loud, because that's the balance you need of discourse in this. Because it can't be us being like, oh no, we want to, it's going to be fine, everything's fine, don't worry about it, or it can't be everything's falling to the end. You have to have this not argument but balanced conversation.
Yeah.
Otherwise, then it would be quietly all right, we're taking more of your game. We're taking more of your game. And it would be like, with all due respect, I love Ubisoft, but that Prince of Persia game they put out in the early 2000, well, early in my career, so a decade ago, whatever it was, 9 years ago, 8 years ago, 7 years ago, kindoffunny.com/you're but like where it was like they put the ending, the real ending of the game was DLC. And it's like, all right, fuck you guys. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not paying for that. I'm not asking for a code. I'm not going to even fucking play that. It's over.
Yeah.
Rob writes in with another contentious question. On the last few shows, there has been a ton of discussion about whether or not PUBG should be given the Game of the Year award. What I found most interesting about the discussion is the way each host has responded. While the discussion was about PUBG, your answers seem to indicate that there are different things each of you look for when considering a Game of the Year. Andrea talked about how PUBG had zero story, mediocre graphics, and was still in beta as reasons why it shouldn't be considered for Game of the Year. All of this seems to indicate that she is taking a more holistic approach for viewing the award. The Game of the Year is one that does the most things the best. Danny suggested that PUBG is a game that he's sunk a lot of time into, probably more than any other game this year, and that is a new experience, unlike anything anywhere else in gaming right now. He seems to think Game of the Year should go to the game that creates something unique and different, and it captures the attention of the gaming public and won't let go. Greg seems like Horizon Zero Dawn, suggesting that he's just going to pick whatever first-party game Sony puts out each year. In all seriousness, Horizon is fucking fantastic. From what I can tell, Greg tends to pick games that are extremely polished, thematically interesting, and have great gameplay. If they tell a great story, even better. I would love to hear a discussion of what qualifies a Game of the Year to you. Love what you do. Keep up the good work. Rob, a.k.a. Torturous Stan. Scary name. I think we're probably all in the same boat of this in terms of, I mean, I don't know. I want to put words in my mouth. I think based on this definition and when I listen to you talk, I think we're on the same page. My argument I always go back to is when I believe, I think it was the year Journey won, but Walking Dead Season 1 had come out as well. And we were having, and if it wasn't this year, whatever else won the Game of the Year, Walking Dead Season 1 came out at IGN. And there wasn't, when we get like I always talk about getting your game on the nomination list is where it's like the biggest fight, I feel like. All right, cool, it's there. And then there's the realistic, all right, what is Game of the Year? And I think when we went around the room that year and everybody's arguing, defending, making cases, when it got to me, who was like, I think the biggest Walking Dead fan there and had reviewed the game in terms of it, it got to me and I was like, I love this game. This game is amazing. This game can't be Game of the Year. For me, when I think about Game of the Year, it's going to be that however many years from now, you can take that game, put it in, and you've never played it before, and be like, oh my God, this was an amazing game. And with Walking Dead, I was like, you're going to put that game in, and as it stood then, it's glitchy as fuck. It might eat your save. It might randomly crash. I remember like how it would slow down every time on every version I reviewed of Lee trying to climb up that giant ladder. It was like, this game gets so much right, but doesn't get the technical aspect right that I can't say this is the best video game of the year.
Amen. That's a huge part of it.
Right.
And when I look at a Game of the Year, like he said, it is a more well-rounded approach. Story is important. Mm-hmm. Graphics and art are important. Programming code, mechanics, how the tech runs is important. Audience reception is important. Will this game go down on somebody's list as one of their top 10 games of all time? Mm. If it can't check the majority of those boxes, if not all of those boxes, then it shouldn't win. And specifically for outlets that give scores, if you have a game that you've scored a 10 out of 10 and it does not win Game of the Year, you're doing something wrong.
Right.
Because otherwise, why did you give it a perfect score?
But the argument would be, of course, that, well, first off, 10 out of 10 doesn't mean perfect. It means masterpiece. But it would also be the fact that that's one writer's opinion. That's one reviewer's opinion. And that's where it gets really tricky, right? When you do that and it's like the Uncharted 3 thing with me, right? I'm just like, everyone backed me up at the time and now it's like such a joke there, right? And it's
I heard you talking about it with Danny yesterday. Yeah. It's interesting. I still stand firm that I don't think PUBG is going to win Game of the Year. I personally am not voting for Zelda. I'm personally voting for Horizon so far. But there is so many more games that have not
Yeah.
come out yet.
Yeah, of course. That and the people are
know?
like, why aren't you talking about Super Mario Odyssey? I'm like, because we haven't played the
We haven't
fucking
played it
game.
yet.
I mean, like
Yeah.
we played it, but we haven't like played it. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth. I think you can only go. Well, you know, Gamescast used to. I don't know if we're still doing it this year. Like the quarterly update, right? Of like where our game of the year is so far, and this, that,
Absolutely.
and the other.
And I said on this show that I think Nintendo is going to run away with the 2 top contenders for Game of the Year between Zelda and Mario,
Yeah.
which is incredible and super exciting because
Don't forget 1-2 Switch as well.
please. It's an okay party
Just
game.
saying, it changed the game in a lot of ways.
But I mean, there's Assassin's Creed and Shadow of War and Star Wars Battlefront 2, you know, which we
Yep.
haven't really talked about or seen much of recently.
Because I don't want to know a fucking thing. Just get me the game.
So there's just,
Mitch,
there's a
Walt,
lot of
Janina,
stuff coming.
yeah, just give it to me. Let me play that story. I can't wait. Yeah.
So there's a lot happening and there's a lot of potential for games of the year, and you know, it's great. I'm glad that some people, you know, somebody wrote in yesterday and, you know, ranted against me about how I was
You called
wrong.
him out. You called down the
He
thunder on
didn't
that
even
one.
play Zelda for crying out
all right,
loud.
we're still fighting about it. All right, jeez, Louise.
No, we're not fighting about it. I'm just saying, if you're gonna, I said step to me. He stepped to me and then admitted he'd never played Zelda, and I
Yeah.
was like, whoa, wait, what? Get out of here.
It's gonna be an interesting run up to the end of the year here. Let's do. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna do 2 more of these. It's that Dave writes in and says, "Hey, Greg and Andrea. So my wife and I are having our 10-year anniversary next month, and she says she'll buy me a game." Destiny 2 or Assassin's Creed Origins? Now, I know you fucks are going to say Destiny 2 because you're all up in it, but hear me out. I played the first Destiny all by myself and really didn't dig it too much. But hearing about the new one makes me wiggle in certain parts. Jesus. Now, I mainly do single player and I enjoy the Assassin's Creed games. The last one I played was Black Flag. So, it may be a good time to jump back in. Thoughts? Much love, Dave.
These are both excellent choices. 2 different types of games. Since you said that you're into single player experiences, go for Assassin's Creed Origins. It looks great. The story looks awesome. The graphics look beautiful. They've revamped the mechanics. It's set in this really cool Egyptian time period, and the art direction of that game is magnificent. I'm really looking forward to playing that game. But if you want something that you're going to be able to continue to play, you know, come this time next year, that's going to have more expansions coming out and has, you know, live game service that you will be able to continue going back to, then you're going to want to maybe look at Destiny 2. It's just about the kind of gaming experience you want to have.
My thought on this, I would, based on what you've given us here, I would say Assassin's Creed Origins as well. Like, I'm excited. I like I said, I like Assassin's Creed. I haven't invested a lot of time in one in a while. This looks like a great one. But it's more the fact that we, in Everything Kind of Funny has talked your ear off about Destiny 2 and why me, a lapsed Destiny 1 fan, is loving this and so into it and having all these crazy experiences. If that hasn't sold you yet, if you've heard all that and seen everyone else on the internet talking about it and you're not like, man, this is a game I want, don't do it.
Yeah.
If you're still like, this sounds interesting, they're saying, well, I don't know. Like, no, then we haven't. If you're not sold based on what you've heard, what you've read, what you've seen, hang back and do Assassin's Creed Origins. But congratulations and happy anniversary. Kevin gets married a week from Saturday. Yeah.
So close, Kevin.
Jared, the bank guard, writes in with a spirited rant. He says, "Hey, Greg and Andrea. I think this is probably something Andrea will feel much more impassioned about than Greg. So, could we maybe get an angry Andrea voice for this?" Oh, okay. Are you up for it?
Sure.
All right, cool. Take it over. This is Jared, the bank guard, as read by Angry Andrea.
Fuck Meta Multitool. This exotic god tier scout rifle is dominating Destiny's PvP modes. The gun stats, mixed with a unique ability to keep the radar up while aiming down the sights, gives whoever wields the gun in a huge upper hand. So naturally, everyone must use it. You want to try your hand at the Crucible? Maybe wager a try at the Trials of the Night? Well, I hope you've done this exotic quest. Otherwise, fuck you, says Destiny. Rant over. All this is to ask, do you think that even an exotic gun should dominate any of Destiny's game modes? In the first game, Thorn and Galahorn were both notoriously OP in PvP and PvE, respectively, even after some nerfs and tweaking by Bungie. Now, as cool as exotics are, I personally don't think that they should reach the point of essentially being required to play certain game modes. Also, a quick shout out to the Kotaku article, which made me laugh. The top 5 guns in Destiny. That was a good look.
You saw it? If you haven't seen it, it's a top 5 list, but every one of them is the Mida tool.
Yeah. So, thank you for your rant, Jared, the bank guard.
How you feeling about this? Because I got this gun. It's the most powerful. I've just been using it nonstop, and I didn't realize all of this was happening because I was playing Crucible stuff, and I was like, oh man, I'm doing really well.
When we were doing the raid with Andy and Griffin and Danny and those guys, they were talking about the stats on how many people in Crucible and in Trials are using this specific gun.
Yeah.
And it's over 30% of people in both of those. Well, it's over 46%, I think they said in Trials.
Something like that,
are
yeah.
using this gun.
Yeah.
And that is crazy. Clearly, it's going to get nerfed, so get while the getting's good.
Yeah, I got to get into this
But
Trials
I
one.
I've delayed this quest line because I wanted this exotic to drop above 300.
Ooh, smart. Okay.
So now that I'm at 290, I can go in and finish this exotic quest line so I can get the really high powered version of it.
Gotcha.
So that's the deep cuts pro tip. If you want really good exotics, you gotta wait.
Yesterday, Jen beat the story, and then she started asking me, "It's like when I want to get these things, like, when are there gear drops based on?" And I'm like, "You got to just talk to Andrea. I don't know. I just go in and play and have a good time. I don't know."
Which is a perfectly acceptable way to play.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. No, I just got to get all these fucking trophies.
You don't need to min-max like I do.
Yesterday, I popped the exotic trophy. I'm pretty stoked about it. So I got that done.
Oh yeah, the collector trophy.
I just got to do the little bit on my Titan guy to get the last shard or whatever to go in there and pop that trophy. Then I got to do the Warlock. And it's about beating the raid finally. I'm making progress on this platinum. I'm feeling pretty good.
When are we gonna do trials?
I'm ready. We need to do. I just want to do. We can just do it tonight. We should just do it tonight.
Okay.
Get a team together and let's go.
Did you finish the Crucible quest line? Because you have to do that
nope,
first.
I'm all set. I got Trials of 9 unlocked. I just gotta get the one fucking win. Get out of there. Go talk to the guy. I'm all set. Time to squad up. This is where one of you writes into kindafunny.com/KFGD. You give me your name, your username, your platform of choice, and why you need help in a video game. I read it here. Friends come and find you. The Kinda Funny community rises up with everyone. Ethan from Chicago writes in, needs help on his PlayStation 4. His username is XXEasy, EAZY, E94XX. XXEasy, E94XX. Last weekend, I went to Riot Fest here in Chicago. Big old punk rock concert over 3 days. I ran into 3 people repping Kinda Funny. Didn't get any names, but we fist bumped and said best friends for life. Cool moment I thought I'd share. P.S. If you're one of the 3 people I fist bumped or just want to be friends, PSN, XX, easy, E94XX, easy with a Z, E94.
That's awesome.
It's a better way to say it than I was saying it. Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. I always like to see you guys run into it. I was thinking about this at PAX. I told Jen this. When we go to these events, PSX, all this stuff, we got to start and just pick a day. And that's the day you wear your Kinda Funny shirt. Because there's always there, but I'll see them on the day when we're not doing the panel. I'm like, oh, we should have done it all together. And like a lot of people have a lot of shirts, but we'll figure it out. That's something to think about. It's an old noggin scratcher. You know what I mean, Kev? Yeah, all right. That Squad Up was brought to you by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community for creators with more than 17,000 classes in design, photo, and more. Premium memberships give you unlimited access, so you can keep learning, find inspiration, and take on new projects in whatever you want. The first 500 people to use the promo link that I'm going to read later will get their first 2 months free, and then it's as low as $10 a month after that to continue the learning if you like. Or you can cancel anytime if you don't. There's no risk. You can learn from anywhere. Download the mobile app on Android or iPhone and tap into classes even when you're offline. I know you've heard me say it this week. They got French, 3-minute French. I want to do that because I tried other apps and stuff to learn French. Too basic, too many different things. I'm going to try this one.
Go for it. French is challenging.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I took a bunch of years of it in college and in high school, so I should probably be able to pick it up. Now, meanwhile, though, today, Kevin Coelho had to ask like 3 separate people in the office for After Effects advice on how to change a color in there. I think Skillshare could have helped you, Kev, because they got him in there. You can just go in there and get After Effects tips. Yeah, it's hard. I know. It's fine. No, don't worry. No one needs to hear you. The first 500 people to go sign up will receive a 2-month free trial. Go to Skillshare. Now it's skl.sh/kindafunny to start your free trial now. And it's also in the description below if you're on YouTube's. So you're fine. There it is. Andrea?
Yes.
We have a new segment. This one's called PlayStation Lookout.
Okay.
Raddyster writes in and says, not really a question, just thought you should know that during the PlayStation TGS show the other day, they showed the trailer for Detroit Become Human. At the end of the trailer, there was a release window was shown for 2018. Now, David Cage has mentioned 2018 before as the release date, but this was the first time we've seen evidence by Sony in a trailer. That's all. Thanks for everything. Raddister. Thank you for being a PlayStation Lookout. I keep throwing in new segments with one-time uses, and I like that, but I don't think it's a joke yet. I want it to be a running gag that I have all these new segments. But you're just over there typing away.
I'm trying to keep up with time code, and I realized I missed some things in the middle. So
Yeah, well, it's still beta week for it. That's fine. This is what we're doing the best we can.
I'm working on it, friends.
Andrea,
Yes.
if we ever get something wrong on this show, and it never happens, we ask people who are watching live on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames to go to kindoffunny.com/you're wrong and tell us what we screwed up. How do we do today?
Today we did all right. So the first one, the port of Doom was handled by Panic Button, not id or Bethesda. Rob, Bethesda always publishes Doom. Bethesda's never not going to work on Doom, just for the record. Panic Button is also working on the port of Rocket League, he says.
Oh, okay.
But we did not mention id in that conversation.
Okay. So it's a little bit editorializing, just letting us know?
Yeah.
Okay.
To the best friend that corrected Danny yesterday about Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper is only manufactured by PepsiCo in Canada and Oceania. It's manufactured by Coca-Cola in Europe and its own brand partnered with Snapple in the U.S. If you're going to correct someone, get your facts straight first.
Jeez, what a burn and you're wrong. All right.
Andrea stated that multiplayer would not be in the Switch version of Doom. Correct. No, incorrect. I said it was siphoned off because what Bethesda is doing with Nintendo is allowing you to not download that part of the game in order to minimize the space that it's taking up.
Oh, okay,
in
but
your
it is
Switch.
there.
Yes.
Okay.
So he says multiplayer is included in the Switch version. The part of the game that got cut out was the Snap Map feature that allowed players to create levels and content with Doom assets.
Gotcha.
So,
I understand the confusion.
but thank you for bringing up the Snap Map. I did not mention that. Just to give a little more info to Outcast 2121's correction, he is right that the multiplayer is going to be included in Doom, but it will not be included on the Switch card. See, that's what I said.
Cheer.
Okay. Prince of Persia, the game that had the epilogue DLC released December 2nd, 2008, almost 9 years ago.
Thank you.
The DLC itself came out for PS3, Xbox 360 on March 5th, 2009.
Some bullshit.
The PC version was never released due to business reasons, according to Ubisoft.
Yeah, nobody liked the game. They're like, this isn't Prince of Persia. This is Nolan North. Because we love Prince of Persia.
So this person actually found the Destiny Trials report where
nice.
it looks at how many kills are done with the Meta multi-tool. And so it says a bit more than the 30 to 40% Andrea suggested, even though for kills it says 35%. So I'm not sure what you mean. For matches, it says 98%, but I'm not sure what the difference there between kills and matches is.
A lot of people are using the gun, though. We can confirm that.
Yeah. Yeah, so the next closest gun is Uriel's Gift. What do you think that percentage is?
9.
8. Oh, Prosecutor is 9%. So that's crazy. And then it goes down from there. That's it.
Oh, okay. Pretty good. Pretty good day.
Yeah.
Okay. I drew this ball mass Superman today.
Ooh,
Big proud of that one. Big proud of that one.
nice.
I love doodling it while I listen to you. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Kind of Funny Games Daily for Thursday, September 21st. That's right, Poe's birthday. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, you can catch it live as we do it on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. You can catch it later on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames or listen on podcast services around the globe. No matter where you do, thank you so much. If we're going to ask you for a little bit more, head over to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames or patreon.com/kindoffunny. Toss us a few bucks, get some stuff early, support the cause. Remember, Andrea and the What's Good Game Girls are nominated for the Games Radar Golden Joysticks. Head over there, gamesradar.com. Toss them a vote.
Please.
You won me a game award. We can win this for them.
Thank you. You
Fuck
can get the
Markiplier.
specific link to that page.
I was kidding. I'm kidding.
No, he's great. You can get the specific link to the voting page on my Twitter, on the What's Good Games Twitter, on our Facebook page, and a bunch of other places.
Awesome. I'll see you Tuesday. Yes? No, maybe not, because we're...
No, Danny and I are hosting on Monday.
Yeah, you and Danny are doing that, but
so
I
I'll
won't
see
be
you
here.
guys on Monday, but I won't see you. You'll be in LA.
Yeah, I'll be back at some point. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I started and left down there. Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.